Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I've been seeing a lot of people wanting to leave their 9 to 5 or their regular job to kind of follow their dreams. And I have a very similar story, and I'm going to tell you why you should leave your job or why you shouldn't leave your job. So first of all, I left my job about 5 years ago. I was working for the state. I was miserable. A lot of things had happened to me. I was a victim of a violent crime. So that put my life into a different kind of perspective. Once that happened, I started seeing things a lot differently. I had trauma from that, obviously, because it's very scary. But then the other part of it was, wow, I'm wasting my life away at something that I don't really care for. I don't really care about any of this. The job itself was fine. The people I worked with were okay. I just wasn't happy, right? I always knew that that was not something that I always wanted to do. So I've always been like a super creative person. I play instruments. I'm always like writing. I have a very wild imagination sometimes. And a part of me just felt like I wasn't myself when I was making like not those videos, when I was just like not doing that type of stuff at work, because it was just it was an office job, very boring. I would tinker with YouTube all the time, and I probably had like 4 or 5 different channels. This one is my most recent channel that I'm trying to honestly post with a lot. But anyway, I always wanted to do YouTube, right? That's something I've always wanted to do. But I knew that I needed to have a job. And I knew that YouTube wasn't going to pay me immediately, but it was something that I always wanted to do. And right now, as I am making this video, I don't get paid by YouTube. But within that 5 years, a lot of really crazy things happened to me. And I don't know what it is exactly that was keeping me from finding another job, finding something, that would give me steady income, because for the past 5 years, I haven't had any of that. But I have tried multiple times to get jobs, and it's just so bizarre that every time that I have tried, I'd go in for an interview or something, and then something really bizarre happens where it's like, hey, actually, we're not gonna be able to hire anybody now. This job actually closed or whatever. Just a lot of really random things that have stopped me from going back to a job. And I'm like thinking to myself, why? For the longest time, I was really down on myself because I'm like, wow, I can't get a job. I can't whatever. But honestly, what it was like my life or whatever is going on, pushing me in a direction that would lead me to like actual happiness. And the past maybe 3.5 years leading up to recent was a really big struggle, even though I left my job and it was like my own doing. Something in me told me that this is what I needed to do. I moved from San Diego to Texas because I knew that it was going to be a lot cheaper over there. And I knew that just by selling things on eBay, I was going to be able to come up with rent money and come up with like my car payment and my stuff. I knew that all I had to do was just sell a couple of things or put myself out there to do a couple of like little odd jobs here and there that would cover my rent and my life while still being able to pursue something that I liked. And I'm not gonna lie, a handful of times, most of the time, I was almost like on the verge of tears because I was so fed up. I was so frustrated because all I wanted to do was just be normal. I wanted to go back, and I thought that the biggest mistake I ever made was leaving my job. So within that time, I was kind of just doing whatever I wanted. I would go and I would make videos. I would like save some money and I would go travel. I'd go back to San Diego all the time because something in me just was like, something's calling me here. I just need to be here. I'd spent 12 years of my life there and I just wanted to go back. I didn't like Texas, but I made one video when I was in San Diego on a trip that ended up changing my whole life and is like the reason why I'm here like right now. So I made that video in San Diego, and that video didn't have many views at all. I've been known to go viral a handful of times on TikTok because of things that I've said or just things that I do. But this one didn't even have like 5,000 views on it. But it only takes one person to watch it to change your entire life. And that's exactly what happened. My now fiance saw that video. He was like, I don't know what it is, but I need to like message this girl. So he messaged me. We started talking. Next thing you know, he was on a flight to San Antonio to Texas to meet me. And everything from there just kind of took off. Was it crazy? Absolutely. Am I telling you to do that? No. But what I'm telling you is because a lot of setbacks and a lot of things that have happened, it led me to exactly where I am today. And it's like the best thing that's ever happened to me. So we met, and then the next thing you know, I moved back to California, which is where I wanted to go. And we recently moved now, but that's besides the point. But I was allowed to finally take content creating seriously on TikTok. And because of him and because of what he provides, like emotionally and like just in a relationship, he's just my, like my everything. He's like my biggest supporter. He's really stood behind me and is like, you can do this. So because of him, my TikTok has kind of, I don't want to say blown up, but I've gotten a lot more traction on that thing than I ever have before. And it's because I was allowed to actually, do what I wanted to do, be where I wanted to be, have what I wanted to have. And it's just because I took the leap of leaving my job in the first place. So for a lot of people, I know that it's scary to not have a plan, and I'm not telling you to leave, because before I left, I knew the consequence was if I don't have money to pay for my things, I could potentially lose them. But is losing monetary things or like physical things, is that more than my happiness? And at the time I was like, take it all. I don't care. I'll move into a shoebox if I have to. And I left my job. So if you feel like this is something that you want to do and you've been, just not happy and trying to figure out what life is and trying to figure out things and how things are going to go, I say do it. A lot of people will disagree. They'll say, have something lined up, have something that you can fall back on. If you have parents, family, whatever, even better, because you can fail and always go back there. It doesn't really matter for most people. I know it's not for everybody. But for me, I knew that once I left, it was like game on. Once I left my job, it was up to me how I did everything. It wasn't a set schedule that I had for years where it's like I wake up, I take a shower, I go to the gym, I go to work, I do all that stuff, and it was just like boring and I just hated it. But because I took a leap of faith, I'm here, I'm doing what I love, which is creating content, talking to you guys, helping people. And it's something that I've always wanted to do. The happiest I've ever been. I'm not getting paid on YouTube, but I am getting paid on TikTok, which is crazy because I have like brand deals and things, and I only have 20,000 people. So I can't even imagine having more than that and getting paid crazy, But anyway, I know I'm kind of the opposite of what a lot of people are going to say, like leave your job. Don't leave your job unless you have something lined up, unless you have like a year of savings. I didn't have any savings. I didn't have any of that. All I had was my intuition, and I was scrappy. I would do whatever I needed to do to get $1, well, like legal things. I would do legal things. So if you're completely miserable on the precipice of death, because a lot of people lead to, doing that whole thing because they're so unhappy, why not? Why not just leave? I'm giving you permission to leave. But yeah, I don't know where that kind of came from. I don't know. I've just been thinking about it a lot and how my life is now, but I'm going to upload this. Hopefully you guys liked it, whatever. Thanks for watching, subscribe, all that stuff.